Welcome to this week's edition of Pitstop. I've got Mark Jones with me this week. And we're going to discuss something that has been, it's getting closer now. It has been very controversial ever since its announcement a few years ago. Is obviously, if I'm going to call it by its full name, it's the Mercedes-AMG C63 SE Performance.
Correct. Sedan.
Yeah. Which went from a 4-liter V8 down to a 4-cylinder 2-liter with serious electrical assistance.
Correct.
But the big problem was obviously it's 4-cylinder 2-liter like your grandmother's Corolla probably had, which was the big bone of contention. So you've driven it, Mark. You've driven it on the launch drive without any in a controlled environment or anything. You did some twisties in Cape Town, whatever, without proper measuring equipment to see how fast it went. And we're getting it hopefully within the next week. That's the plan, to take it to Gerotech. But before we get there, we need to paint the picture here. The benchmark for times in that specific performance sedan would be the BMW M3.
100%. It always has been. It's always been the benchmark, handling, straight line performance. Over the years, Mercedes has gone from like sort of a straight line missile to a well more rounded package. And the previous one was quick. And this new one, which I've driven, is really fast. I mean, it's going to be quicker than before. But there's this little gremlin on the horizon, and it's called M3 Competition xDrive, and there's the key. It's got equal all-wheel drive, so there's no grip issues. It launches hard in first gear, whereas the normal M3 Competition rear-wheel drive launches in second gear. So it's that battles to control traction. This doesn't. This is hello. So it's one quick car versus another quick car.
So just obviously in preparation for all of this very recently, you took that very same M3 to Gerotech.
Yes, and I needed some base numbers. We had tested the rear-wheel drive before, and it was fast, but it suggested, very much so from what I've seen, as I expect, the new C63 SE Performance will be quicker, and I expect it to be. I mean, it's got lots of kilowatts, it's got over 1,000 Newton meters of torque, but having the xDrive on test was kind of a little bit of apples with apples. Yeah, they're not on the same day, but we're not scientists, we road test enthusiasts. And I mean, the BMW xDrive M3 ran 0 to 103.34. And I mean, 0 to 103.34, for those that understand, that's stupid quick. It's like supercar territory. It's actually quicker than the Ferrari 488 GTB we tested. I mean, are you kidding me?
It is quick.
It's quick, but the Merc, for all intents and purposes, is just as quick. I mean, these are cars that do 250 Ks in like 20 seconds. You know, they are 250 K plus cars in a kilometer. They're really, really fast cars. So, but we've set the benchmark. We've got a 3.34, which is fast. We had a 0 to 210.9 seconds. I mean, that's really quick. 250 came up in 18 seconds. I mean, 250 Ks now. Most cars, real fast hot hatches, are battling to get there on a speed limiter. This car's there in 18 seconds, an 11-second quarter mile. I mean, it's a very quick family sedan. Now, of course, enter Mercedes.
Obviously, this let's just call it, to make it easier, the AMG 63.
Yeah.
So it's got a claimed 0 to 100, a 3.4.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see that 3.34. But, you know, even we're talking tens, hundreds, thousands of seconds. But that would be an incredible feat for this Merc, not so much for what the clock says, but in terms of bragging rights. Because of all the flack it's been taken all over the world and how people have been whining about the augmented sound, it's not the real V8 and all of that. That would be an incredible feat if it can beat that time.
Of course. I think everybody wants the bragging rights of the pure data. I mean, we all want that, no matter how it gets there. This sort of contentious issue of the noise that it puts out, I feel for Merc a little. They're the first of the premium, the German three, Audi included, that have gone and added proper electrical assistance to their performance car. We've seen it now with M5, BMW M5 that just launched. Heavy torque, power, but the car's heavy. And everybody's going, oh, listen to this thing. It was at Goodwood Festival of Motoring over the weekend, and people are, look at this. So there's going to be this disconnect. As this drive to electrification carries on, Merck's just got there first at the moment. But current Gen BM, which is about to do a life cycle impulse change now by the end of the year, which will give the M3 a little bit more power, is still not an electrified car. The next gen, guaranteed, will have the same thing the Merc said. It might have a downsize, although I can't see that. Merc will probably, BM will stick with the same 3-litre configuration. But it's going to be electrically assisted. Merc beat them there. Everybody's having a whine. But Audi's going to do the same thing. They're all going to go there. And the Merc's going to be first out the blocks. And it's going to be hell of a close. For what it's worth, it's going to be hell of a close. And the numbers it's going to put out, I'm telling you, when you get in the car and you drive it, yes, so maybe you want this big V8 growl. But I think very quickly, you're going to go, wow, I own a very fast car, and it's really dynamically good. And when you want it to drive normal with a bit of electric power, it's great. So Merc, I think, is one step ahead at the moment. Now we just got to see if they can back the sort of talk up with the walk. And we hope to do that soon.
I remember when that 2-litre 4-cylinder engine we're talking about, when that debuted in the A-Class, and we took the A45S to Gerotech. And I remember the first thing when I drove it there, and the first thing I got out the car, I asked you, how the hell could they make a 2-litre this fast? And your words were boost. It's all in the boost. Now we're talking about that engine alone is 350 kilowatts. But the combined package is, like you said, 500 kilowatts plus the electrical assistance and 1,020 Newton meters. And when they say that F1 technology is a very easy manipulated marketing PR exercise.
Correct.
But when these guys say it's from F1 technology, it is from F1 technology. All those years where Toto Wolff and Lewis Hamilton were raking in everything, it's from those exact years. It's that exact technology that's filtered down into this product, and it's no little white lie or little waxed off something. It's real. It's very, very real. And I mean, you experienced this during the launch drive recently at Cape Town.
Exactly. It's besides the outright performance, it's the clever parts of the battery regeneration. Let's not confuse this battery part, which drives an electric motor on the rear axle. Let's not confuse what this battery is here for. It's 90% here for power. It's here to go. It's not here to go around and pretend you're saving the planet and having lithium batteries under your seat kind of vibe. It's so clever that if you map out a track or you choose a track which it has the facility to do, the approaching a corner and going on the brakes, it knows that that's going to happen. Or you choose a mountain pass and you map it, it knows it's going to happen. And when you go on the brakes, the regen mode is so much more aggressive. It regens the battery as fast as it can, and you come out and you need the horsepower, it lets it go as fast as it can. It gives it away. And then it recovers it more gradually as you drive. Where current cars regen and build up the same, the electric cars, this doesn't. This is clever stuff. And it makes a difference. That car hustles. It really is quick for what it is, the weight. But very quickly you forget. And I think if people just get over this V8 soundtrack rubbish, they'll buy into the technology in this car and realize it's seriously quick. But you won't convince a BM fan of that. M3 at this stage rules the roost in terms of the numbers and the bragging rights at the drag strips and all on the streets. Everybody wants the M3. It can go sideways. You're not going to convince a Merc owner, and you're not going to convince a BM owner, and Audi somewhere in the background is going to probably look at both and yawn because they don't want to play that game. But you're not going to change it. But yeah, let's see. I mean, we got the M3. It's top of the log. I'm betting a cold beer to somebody that there's a good chance that this Merc is going to shave some time off that M3. Even though it's claimed 3.4, we know it's good at Gerotech. We know these cars are good on the reef, the air's thin. It's where we test, so it's apples for apples. I think the Merc's going to give the BM a hell of a go and maybe sort of just knock it off the top step.
Well, there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. The table is set. Now we come in to see who's roosting on Friday when we're taking it to Gerotech. And then obviously, as always, we'll report back and we will discuss what happened at Gerotech. Thank you for listening to this week's edition of the Pitstop podcast. I was joined by Mark Jones. I'm Jaco van der Merwe. You can go and like this. If you liked it, of course, you can go and share it or decide to follow the Citizen News' YouTube channel and tune in then every week and stay abreast with all the latest happenings in the motoring industry. Thank you very much. Cheers.